it's going to be.
Tuberville, I don't care what people say. The fact he coached at Auburn, I mean, there's a lot of Alabama fans in the state. I don't see a lot of Alabama fans voting for Tuberville.
Are you serious? It wouldn't make any difference with me. Would you?
No, not as far, really.
You know what I'm saying?
He dominated Alabama, though. He was 7-3 all time.
You know, that's the one thing I don't like.
He won 6 in a row, too. You know?
Holding up that thumb and 6 in a row, that was kind of gloating, and I didn't like that as an Alabama fan, but I guess it was true.
You know what? We're going to...
He's from the state of Arkansas. I mean, of course, he coached all over the place. He was head coach at Ole Miss. He was at Auburn, Cincinnati. He coached at Miami originally under Jimmy Johnson. I mean, he seems like a real personal guy. I see him down here on, great every once in a while. And he's like a nice guy.
He worked with David Stroud from Troy for a couple years as some kind of investment person in Auburn.
And let me tell you this. Speaking of David Stroud, he's back in town.
Really?
Yes, sir. Looking forward to seeing him. Coach, a good friend of mine, and I've known him ever since he was a young'un. And I'm looking for the sports page and having a little bit of problem finding it.
Is he going to start wearing a visor on his head like his daddy?
Yeah, that's right. His daddy was born to wear that visor, Johnny Stroud, and what a great guy he was. And Malzahn calls on Morris to be his Auburn's offensive coordinator. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of scary in some aspects. I mean, that's 2 pretty good offensive minds. I mean, Morris, of course, was awful at Arkansas, but, had, I think 1 or 2 winning seasons at SMU as a head coach, and then his claim to fame is when he was at Clemson, under Dabo. That's when he really became an offensive guru, I guess.
You know what? We're talking about Malzahn.
Looking pretty good when you got guys like that. Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Malzahn. He's loyal. He's loyal to his friends, and from what I gather, Chad Morris is one of his best friends, and he brought him back. But I like a man that's loyal, and that's exactly what he is. Wouldn't you say?
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah.
And he's going to put his people around him.
Definitely a situation. I think Bo Nix, had a decent freshman season, and I think having Morse in there, who's supposed to be a quarterback guru as well, I think that's only going to help.
I'll tell you this right now, if you want me to grade Nix, he scares me to death because he can't help but get better. He's going to get better, and just think what he did as a pure freshman. Look at what he did. I thought it was phenomenal.
I'm impressed by his intangibles and his leadership qualities and his toughness. He didn't get hurt. He didn't miss a play.
And another thing, his humility. The young man has got class. He's got humility. I'm sure he learned that around his breakfast table with his dad being there, who was quite a coach.
He's obviously a great competitor, and that's real. I think that's what coaches are looking for. You hear Coach Saban talk about that all the time, somebody willing to compete. Yeah. And so, I'm with you. I think he's going to get better and better, and Alabama better buckle up his chin strap if they're going to beat Auburn with this guy.
Yeah, if he goes in and beats Alabama 2 years in a row, beats Alabama in Tuscaloosa next year, he might go down as one of the more legendary quarterbacks ever to play at Auburn.
No question about it. And he's a winner. There's no question about that. And
I remember Eli Manning beat Alabama 2 years in a row, and then Peyton Manning beat Alabama 3 years in a row. So there's some quarterbacks that have a number over Alabama. I think Bo Nix's daddy beat Alabama once or twice, didn't he?
He probably did.
He beat him when he came in for Stan White.
I'll tell you this. Auburn's beaten Alabama a lot over the years, no question about it. And of course, Malzahn was
the greatest coaches in college football history in the last 150 years has been announced on ESPN. Who do you think's number 1?
Okay.
I think it's Coach Bryant.
No, I'm gonna say
they might say Newt Rogney.
I'm gonna say Barry Switzer.
No.
All right. I'm gonna say.
Switzer didn't win enough games.
It's either gonna be Nick Saban, Coach Bryant, or Newt Rogney.
Bill, you've already seen this list, haven't you?
No, I just.
Bear Bryant is number 1.
Bill's already seen the list. He can't.
No, he can't. Well, you tell. I haven't seen the list.
He just said the first 3.
I don't know the order though of what the 3 is.
That's what his guess would have been.
Bear Bryant's number 1.
Good. Newt Rogney.
Of course, Bear Bryant's number 1. Saban's number 2.
Yeah.
And Newt Rodney's number 3. Newt Rodney was 105, 12, and 5 at Notre Dame.
I appreciate you bringing.
105, 12, and 5. And what was Brad Bryant at Alabama?
He won 323.
320. But now that was his total coaching.
323 wins, 85 losses, 17 ties.
Here's the thing to
Bobby
remember
Bowden,
about. Bobby Bowden be up there. The thing about Coach Bryant that I think sets him apart from Saban is how successful Coach Bryant was at his other schools, most notably Kentucky.
Yeah. He won everywhere he went.
The consensus of a lot of people seems to be that Saban is now the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I dispute that, although it's close, because I look at Saban and what he did at Michigan State. He was about a 500 coach. He won about half his games.
Yeah.
And then you look at and that's a pretty good football program with some tradition in Michigan State.
Did he replace Duffy Daugherty, or who did he replace, you reckon?
He was after Duffy Daugherty, but I can't. But then you look at what Coach Bryant did at Kentucky, obviously a basketball school. He won about a 65, 70% clip and had Kentucky in the top 10 every year. That's Kentucky.
Did Charlie
Could Nick Saban have taken over that Kentucky program and did what Bryant did? No. And if another question you might ask is, if Paul Bryant had gone to Michigan State, would his record have only been 500 or would have been so? Coach Bryant can take the players he has and make them better.
Yeah.
Saban, what he does, the key to his success, give him all the credit in the world, he gets the best players. He's the greatest recruiter.
Yeah.
And Bryant did not recruit all over the nation like Saban does.
Yeah, and of course...
in the quote here, legendary coach Bum Phillips said, one time, he was a one-time Bryant assistant at Texas A&M, said, he could take hisms
and beat urine.
And he could take Urim and beat hisms.
That's right.
I think that's it. That's the case
right.
for
He could take hism and beat hism, and take urine and beat urine.
And then he could take urine and beat hism.
You think about the dynasty that Bryant had at Alabama. It was made up of 90% Alabama players, and Auburn was getting some of the good players in the state. So he took these prospects basically from one state and won all these games.
And at one time, you could recruit unlimited amount of players, and that made a huge difference. In fact, he used to recruit 8 or 10 quarterbacks a year, and got them in his program. And a lot of them would end up as tackles and guards and tight ends and things like that. But they said the reason he recruited so many quarterbacks was he didn't want them to go to Auburn or didn't want to play against them. You know, you take Neb Hayden. Have you ever heard that name before?
No.
That was the best quarterback out of South Carolina. You know, and he came to Alabama, hardly played it down. You know, there's a lot of them that were great players that never really got to play because it was.
But you know,
so
that's true. That's especially early in two-platoon football. But later on, when Bryant had it going on in the 70s, if you watch, he played the whole roster about every game. I would look at the number of players that would play. It'd be like 80 players that played. You know, he would put the second and third string guys in and put them in early.
Yeah.
And because of that, he always had experienced players.
A lot of that.
You think about the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like when Stedman Chile took over for, say, Jeff Rutledge.
That's right.
Well, Stedman Chile had played a lot. You know, he'd put him in there.
And he was really good. We need to get Stedman Chile on this show. You know, he lives in Dothan and is a great guy. And, you know, I've always wondered why he didn't run for office because I think he'd been good. But he was a great wishbone quarterback at Alabama, and of course, you know, followed by Don Jacobs. Don Jacobs, you know, followed.
And he played a lot when Stedman Chile was quarterback.
Right. He sure did.
You know, you can go back to players like Robert Fraley, the famous sports agent that died in the plane crash with Payne Stewart.
The Winchester Rifle out of Tennessee.
Well, he was the third string quarterback, but he played a fair amount.
I remember they played Tennessee one time, and Coach Bryant let him play the whole ball game. Alabama beat them by 3 or 4 touchdowns, and. You know, what would be a good show today? And of course, we've got Charles Tennyson's new baseball coach coming on at the 8 o'clock hour. But let's talk about. Of course, we've got the bowl picture looking right at us, and and I'm sure a lot of people have gone down. We're gonna have a picket show later on this week, or actually starting tomorrow, with the bowl pick.
Good. I need to catch up. I don't think I did
we've
too well
also got
last
a
week.
call in to Johnny Williams, my good friend, with the Camellia Bowl, and hopefully we'll catch him this morning and see how things are going with him.
Well, I look forward to reading that story, Michael, and I have actually written a column on that very topic, comparing Bryant and Saban. And most everything I read now says, oh, Saban has surpassed Bryant. And, you know, me, I'm always a contrarian. I say, well, you're not so fast. And, you know, I make the points that Bryant could take his and beat Urine.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this. I heard it from somebody else, the old Florida State coach who was there. Oh, no, excuse me, Florida A&M coach for a long time. He mentioned that, you know, he said Coach Bear Bryant could take his'n and beat Urine and beat his'n, you know.
Well, you just can't. He did not have these unbelievable blue chip athletes.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about a lot of these guys that played. They were buddies. A lot of them were buddies of you.
Yeah, sure.
They weren't 5-star, 4-star, big, huge, fast athletes.
Well,
they were just mediocre players that he made to think that they were great.
You take Jimmy Williams from Troy. He didn't play there long, but he went from being a quarterback in high school and playing center when he got to Alabama. And then back then they didn't have the mouthpieces, and he got his teeth knocked out and just sort of messed up his whole career. But
what about
Jimmy
the
Williams
sideline?
was a quarterback after Tom Murphy.
Let's think about some of the great popular players in Bryant, Alabama history. Tom Somerville was a friend of mine.
Yeah,
he was an offensive lineman. He was tiny.
And
Jerry Duncan, that was the sideline announcer for years and years. Would you say he was
probably 190, 195 something? He was popular because of the tackle eligible play. He was the receiver on the tackle eligible play. You remember that?
But what I'm saying is Bryant built a dynasty with players like that.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. Now, he got a few good players like Joe Namath and, let's say,
Steve Sloan was a good
from
one.
out of state. You know, people like Dwight Stevenson was from Virginia.
Yeah.
Barry Krause was from Florida.
Yeah.
But I would still say 90% of them were just little old country boys from Alabama.
Yeah, of course, you know, Steve Sloan was out of a little town in Tennessee, and his daddy was a preacher, and of course he was a great quarterback. He was what you call
Like
a
Steve
good
Spurrier.
but he was what you call a good college quarterback. He didn't do that well in the pros. Same way with the great Pat Sullivan. You know, he didn't do very much with the pros. He played with Atlanta for a little ways, but he was a great college quarterback. And that's where a lot of them are, you know.
Tim Tebow was a great college quarterback.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't need to really judge them, I think, by how their
Exactly
careers
right.
panned out, and just judge them by what they did in college.
And, of course, you know, all of them, both Alabama and Auburn and Troy, of course, the great Sim Bird, we're going to have him on our show soon. And what a great college quarterback he was. And, you know, there are a lot of them out there. Everybody doesn't make it in the pros or not pro-type guys. You got to be physical, real physical to be a pro quarterback. Yeah.
Let's say the rest of the list is guys you would probably know. Who do you think number 4 and 5 and 6 is?
Woody Hayes.
Yeah, he'd be up there.
Number 4 is the great Tom Osborne,
Yeah,
Nebraska.
yeah.
And also the former great Texas coach, Darrell Royal.
Bud Wilkinson's probably up
John
there high.
McKay was a great one at Southern Cal.
Number 5 is Eddie Robinson at Grambling. He won 408 games.
408 games, that's the most ever.
Yeah, wow.
And then number 6 is Bud Wilkinson. We were talking about him the other day. 145, 29, and 4.
And he's a great one, yeah.
And then the most wins ever was Joe Paterno at Penn State, 409, 136, and 3.
409, 136, and 3. He ended his career with one more victory over Robinson. Isn't that amazing?
But, you know, of course, ended in horrible scandal and, you know.
Wasn't that terrible way to end your career? And he was just, and I think he was trying to be loyal to his coach, but not that way. That's one of the worst. That's one of the worst things I've ever heard of, or it might go down as the worst scandal in sports history.
You know, but I thought Penn State got a raw deal. First, they were given these terrible sanctions and had to vacate all these wins. And my point of view was that was a legal issue. That wasn't an NCAA issue.
Yeah.
That wasn't Penn State getting any advantage on the football field. I mean, that was just people piling on and trying to make a moral statement.
Yeah.
When what a.
Yeah, the problem was the accusations though went on for 15, 20 years. That's why it was under his watch. Is what was so bad about it.
But you can't you can't find an NCAA bylaw that Penn State broke. I mean, there's no bylaw that says it is illegal to cover up for a coach who is a pedophile.
Yeah.
I mean, it's irrelevant.
You're right. No, you're right. But at the same time, it was a huge smear on his paternal program.
He was at Penn State from 1966 to 2011. That'll never happen again.
He was the coach on the team that Bill Rice Sr. played at his junior year at Alabama. They went to the Liberty Bowl, and I want to say they played it in Philadelphia. Didn't they?
Right.
Played in Philadelphia, and Penn State beat Alabama 7-0. I want to say that was the score.
They ran.
They're celebrating 150 years of football. We're talking about the top coaches all time in the 150 years. This is the top 10 we're going through. Number 8 is a guy from Alabama.
Jackie Sherrill?
No.
From Alabama.
Jackie Sherrill's in the top 10. Bobby Bowden.
Bobby Bowden, that's right. Yeah, from Alabama, yeah. I can't believe that he's not further up the line. How many did he win?
377, 129, and 4, but he had to vacate a bunch of wins as well.
Yeah.
That's bonkers.
But when it's all said and done, I mean, he was phenomenal. He was 31-6 at Howard College, which is Sanford.
Yeah.
At West Virginia, he was 42-26, and then at Florida State, he was 304, 97-4.
Yeah, he was a great coach, no question about it. And
I'll tell you who else is on there on down the list, but will be Frank Thomas and Wallace Wade from former Alabama coaches.
Number 9 is Woody Hayes.
Yeah, I was right by that. How about Darrell Royal?
Woody Hayes was 238, 72, and 10, and number 10 all time.
Dan Devine.
Number 10 all time is Frank Leahy.
Yeah, that's right. That was years ago.
13-9. He coached at Boston College and Notre Dame.
You know, Coach Devine Alabama never beat Dan Devine. Either at Missouri or at Notre Dame. He was a very good coach.
You want me to round out top 20 real quick?
Yeah, do please.
Number 11 is a guy I never heard of, Glenn Pop Warner.
Oh God, you've heard of Pop Warner football? He goes way back. I think he was the guy with the most wins for many years.
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
He coached at Georgia, Iowa State, Cornell, Carlisle, Pittsburgh, Stanford, and Temple.
Wow.
This guy was a great coach. I knew about him. John McKay at USC.
Great one.
27, 40, and 8.
And he was a great college coach, but a terrible pro coach. I don't think he ever even hardly won a game in the pros when he coached there.
This is Dad's number 1 coach, apparently. Barry Switzer, 157, 29, and 4 at Oklahoma.
Hey, he was my favorite coach. I hated him.
He said he was going to be the number 1 when you.
Yeah, if you were an Alabama fan, well, he was pretty good now. And what was his record at Oklahoma?
It's unbelievable. 157, 29, and 4.
I knew it was good.
He had a 1-game season every year in Nebraska.
Yeah, oh yeah. And Nebraska had those good teams. But
this is the record Bryant broke. Amos Alonzo Stagg was number 14.
Okay.
He won 314, lost 199, tied 35.
Amos Alonzo Stagg.
Amos Alonzo Stagg coaches some great programs. Springfield, Chicago, and Pacific.
Well, let me tell you, a great player that played at Pacific. All you gurus out there, I ought to get them to try to name them, but Eddie LeBaron, little Eddie LeBaron came out of Pacific, was the quarterback for the Washington Redskins. When I was growing up, he was my favorite, man. He was a little bitty guy, but he was a great player.
Number 15 was a great coach. You don't hear people mention him enough, I don't think. Eric Parsegan.
Oh, he was a good one.
170, 58, and 6. He was at Miami, Ohio, Northwestern and Notre Dame.
What was his record?
170, 58, and 6.
Oh boy, that is good. And of course, he was a nemesis to Alabama. He was a very good coach, and
he won one of the great games of all time. That 24-23.
Yeah, that's right. And also, he was coaching at Notre Dame when Notre Dame played Michigan State for the national championship. Y'all remember that? And I think they tied. I want to say they tied.
Yeah, so people at Michigan State and Alabama still think he stole the 1966 title suddenly for a 10-10 tie.
Yeah.
With the Spartans because he, what does it say? He deduced the Irish would win the debate or something. Yeah, as we said.
You know, back then Notre Dame did not go to bowl games either, so they didn't have a chance to lose in a bowl game either.
And you're right, and that they ended up, I don't know, making it either a dual championship or Notre Dame won the championship. How'd they do that?
Notre Dame won it.
He gave it to Notre Dame because he felt like that even with a tie, that Notre Dame's name.
But ladies and gentlemen, from New Orleans, Louisiana, the Sugar Bowl. And the quarterback for Alabama is Kenny Stabler, and the wide receiver is Raymond Perkins.
That's right.
And Stabler drops back to pass. He has got Perkins across the middle. 40, 30, 20, touchdown Alabama. But what I'm saying here,
Alabama beat the slop out of Nebraska.
Threw 3 touchdown passes to Perkins and 1 to Dennis Holman.
Didn't do any good.
And they just walloped Nebraska, like I said, 34-7, and they didn't give them.
They finished third in the country.
You talk about being cheated, and Alabama was undefeated with those bright fronts.
They were 2-time national champions, so that would have been a three-peat, which is I don't think.
And they played with bright fronts, and Stabler was a great quarterback, and of course Stabler is known more for the big touchdown run against Auburn his junior year in the biggest rainstorm I've ever seen in my life, and I sat through it. And Auburn had dominated the ball game. Coach Jordan at Auburn was a great coach, too, no question about it. He had some great teams. And they were dominating Alabama, and they settled for a field goal. And late in the ball game, it was about midfield. Stabler on the keep, he's going to keep. He's going to break a tackle at the 45. He's down the sidelines at the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25, the 20. I believe he's going to score. He is. He takes it in for the score. Alabama beats Auburn 7-3.
Yeah.
And before the most rainy game I've ever seen.
The run in the mud or something like that?
Everybody had these big plastic things they were trying to keep the rain off.
I was in an Alabama-Auburn game one time where back and forth, great game in the 80s like they always were. And Auburn scored, took the lead, and this was when Walter Lewis was quarterback in Alabama, I think his senior year. And right at the end of the third quarter, the bottom fell out. Tornado warning.
Yeah,
now they would have canceled, they would have postponed the game, emptied the stadium, but they didn't then. Umbrellas were flying everywhere. They said there was a tornado warning, so I guess you could have got out of the stadium if you wanted. And then once that deluge hit, there was no way in the world that Alabama could come back and move the ball in that game.
I was at an Auburn game, and I don't know if it was an Auburn-Alabama game. I'd like for somebody to call in, or maybe you can answer this. When the old gymnasium at the south end of the field there at Jordan-Hare Stadium caught fire, and a giant fire was going on, and they never stopped the game. They kept playing the game as their field house. Their old gymnasium was being burned down. Have you ever heard of that story?
Yeah, I've seen the pictures. Are stunning.
And I know it wasn't Alabama because that was Alabama was they always play the Iron Bowl in Birmingham, and that was a great environment.
I think.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and finish the list, Michael.
I mean, some of the other names are guys that just coached so many years ago. You got Walter Camp.
All right.
You got the guy that won all the games in Division III. I think his name's Joe Galagarati or something like that. He was at St. John's in Minnesota. He won 465 games there.
Yeah.
Big Max.
So he's the guy that's won over 500 games. Fielding Yost.
Yeah, I've heard that name before.
At Minnesota?
Fielding Yost.
He was the head coach in the 1800s at Ohio Wesley. Then he was at Nebraska, Kansas, San Jose State, Stanford, and Michigan. Earl Red Balk. He was at Dartmouth and the Army, back in the Army glory days.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Let me pick up this call right now and put you on hold.
There's a familiar name, Bo Ship.
Jim Becker at Michigan.
Hold on a
Be
second.
right back. Good morning. You on Today in L.A.? How you doing?
Hey, Mike, Will Matthews.
Will Matthews, won't you please come home? How you doing, Will? Are you in Ozark or Dothan?
I'm actually in Webb, where I'm the judge of Webb.
Oh, God, downtown Webb. And are you reciting over the court down there?
Yeah, and I've got a special hearing this morning at 8:30.
All right, let me put you on hold a second here and bring Mike Amos in here with you. And, of course, have I got both of you now?
Yep.
Hello?
I'm here.
You got me.
All right, we got you, man. It's a piece of cake now. Will Matthews is with us, and we're talking about some of the great coaches of all time. Will, and, of course, Bear Bryant was number one on the list. And, of course, there were some other great coaches out there. But and then Saban was second. Is that right, Mike?
Yeah, this is the list on ESPN of the greatest 150, the top 150 coaches all time in college football.
All right, how many games?
Michael, just out of curiosity, look up Jess Neely and see where Jess Neely was on that list.
I don't know if he would, Neely was at Vanderbilt, wasn't he?
Rice and Clemson.
Yeah, in Clemson.
I know that Vanderbilt was a powerhouse in the 20s and 30s.
Well, Coach Bryant's first job was at Vanderbilt as assistant coach. I don't know if anybody knew that.
I knew that.
Yeah. Of course, there's a good article in the Advertiser today by Jenny Carlson talking about Hurts living the best, living his life, living the best. And, of course, it talked about what his attitude was. He said, would you ever have thought a true freshman starting for Coach Saban winning an SEC championship, going to a national championship, that you would be a Big 12 champion with the Oklahoma Sooners in 3 years? And he said, I would have thought you were crazy, Hurt said, but then crazy things happen.
Yep.
God works in mysterious ways, Hurt said, sitting beside his teammates after the game Saturday, and I'm blessed to be here with these guys. When the finalists for the Heisman Trophy were announced Monday, the back enjoying the day. John Glushik is the new head baseball coach at Charles Simpson High School, and welcome to Troy, my friend.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Bill Rice Jr.
Welcome.
I'm glad to be here.
And of course, the new head baseball coach at Charles Simpson High School. I'm gonna bounce back and forth. That's the way I operate. But I'm gonna ask you point blank. When you heard the Charles Henderson High School of Troy job was open, what came to your mind?
I almost flipped out because I've always followed it back when Coach Irons was here.
Yeah, sure.
And even just Troy when Chase Riddle was here.
Exactly.
And I know how big baseball was here. And one thing led to another. A friend of mine said the Charles Henderson's job is open, and I mean it went like that.
Yeah.
And I just kind of slid in the back door.
Before I get into the, and we're going to go from the bottom. This is your life, John Glushik. Glushik. And
Let's tell us how we need to learn how to pronounce Coach's name. He said it's glue, like Elmer's glue, and then Schick, like the razor.
like the razor, Glushik.
I've been called worse.
But you know, of course, like you said, the tradition at Charles Simpson High School baseball is one of the strongest in the state.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
you start looking at, and one of them, the places I'm gonna mention here, you're gonna be surprised, is Sweetwater. You won 2 state championships at
Yes,
Sweetwater.
sir. Yes, sir.
A great program.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes.
we'll talk in a minute about how you ended up getting there. But then you know, you see the Vestavias and the St. Paul's and all the great baseball programs around. You know, Charles Simpson would be one of them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And of course, you know, in 5A, and like you said, Coach Irons did some marvelous things there. And you know, to me, anybody that's a friend of Coach Irons is a friend of mine.
There you go.
He was one outstanding baseball coach and one outstanding individual.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And we hate to see him go, but you go to bigger and better places. But at the same time, we feel like baseball here in Troy, Alabama, it takes a back seat to no town.
That's right. That's right.
Because
Exactly right.
these folks love baseball in this community. And of course, it starts really with the rec program.
The rec program.
They won so many state
outstanding.
championships and even World Series championships. And you know what I'm saying. Look on the outside looking in, I would think that this would be a marvelous job.
Yes, sir. It is. It's highly coveted. No question about it. I have great kids, great players, coachable kids. It's gonna be fun.
What's going to be fun is This Is Your Life, John Glushik, who's the new head baseball coach at Charles Simpson. Tell us a little bit about you. Where were you born, and how did you come up in baseball?
I was Air Force brat. I was thinking Navy Army game. I just got through listening to that. But
No, you're fine. We're picking you up.
okay, I was an Air Force brat. Kind of lived in Spokane, Washington, and then moved down to Nebraska, Bellevue, Nebraska, and then I came here to Montgomery, and my dad was stationed at Gunner at the time.
Okay.
And
Not Maxwell, but Gunner.
Gunner at the time.
He was a computer guy, wasn't he?
He was logistics. He was
Okay.
a logistics guy. But I mean, that was when I was in the 9th grade, and I've been here ever since.
All right,
Where'd
what
you
high
go
school?
to high school?
Lee High School, Robert E. Lee.
Now, who was your baseball coach there?
Jim Arrington.
I remember Jim.
Jim.
And of course, you know, Robert E. Lee, Lanier, and Jeff Davis, all those
Oh,
programs.
yeah. Bubba Lewis and,
Yeah.
and
Bubba Lewis, very good friend of mine.
Yeah, Bubba Lewis is a great baseball coach.
You know, Mike Hogan, you know who Mike Hogan is,
Yes,
you know,
sir.
Hogan's Hole. And he and Bubba Lewis used to have some real battles with Jeff Davis.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, Bubba was a great baseball coach. One of Bubba's best players of all time was a guy named Mike Turk.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And,
yeah.
You know, Mike Turk,
Mike
you know,
Turk's
was
back
that Jeff
at
Davis.
Huntington.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
later on, you know, of course, he's the head coach at Huntington, but he was All-American wishbone full quarterback at Troy.
Okay.
He
You
won
know, I
2
remember-
national championships.
I remember Mike Turk stealing home against Charles Henderson in one of those great baseball games
Yeah,
between Charles Henderson and Jeff Davis.
But Bubba, you know, was also a great football coach too. All right, now you went to Robert E. Lee High School, and then what happened?
Then played back then it's 3 years, your sophomore through senior years.
Went up through their recreation program, which was also good. The Blues and the Grays and.
I played at East Montgomery, so
Okay,
that
East
was
Montgomery.
against Bubba's Blue Gray
Exactly,
team.
yeah.
So, and so we were always competing
And
against
that
each
East
other.
Montgomery team won several national
sir.
championships too, didn't
Yes,
it?
sir. State tournaments.
In fact, a lot of those guys pitched at later on.
What
pitched
position
at-
did you play,
I,
John?
I was a middle infielder, second base. Then I got a scholarship to play for Coach Archer at Huntington College back when it was NAIA.
Yeah.
And
What year was that you were with Sharps? I go way back with Sharps.
I played there. I graduated in '89, so I played there in '89 through '93 was my 4
Yeah.
years.
And Huntington was beating. They would beat Auburn one day and drive down and beat Troy the next day. And something I always Coach Riddle and I were very good friends. And of course, Huntington had great programs. Steve Shartzer was not only a great coach, but was, played on a Southern Illinois World Series championship team. At Southern Illinois.
Went to the College World
Yeah,
Series.
went to the College World Series. I don't know if they won it or not, but
He still holds a record for stolen bases.
yeah. And of course, probably one of the most hard-nosed coaches I think I've ever known. I used to go out and watch them, like during my lunch break. I'd go over to Huntington and watch a baseball game. Y'all played a lot of games at noon,
Yes, sir. No lights.
That's
back
right,
then.
no lights, and you played with some.
David Beasley from Troy played at Huntington.
Yeah,
Probably for
that's
him.
right. You remember David? David's the head coach at
Berry College?
Berry College.
Yes.
You're exactly right. From right here in Troy, and of course Huntington had a lot of good players over the years, especially during that era when you came through. And Charter was one of these coaches that had a big thing about being in condition.
That's right.
And I used to watch them for an hour before they start playing practicing baseball, just wearing those kids out with calisthenics and stretching.
He's famous for his fingertip push-ups.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm bringing that down here.
and that's pretty hard. But you got to have strong hands.
Oh yeah,
don't you?
your forearms,
Exactly.
forearms and hitting. You look like if I can get these guys to look like Popeye.
Yeah. Coach Mabry and I were good friends too.
John Mabry
John Mabry.
The real reason you were at Huntington, though, is Morrison's cafeteria did Huntington's food, and that's why you had lunch out there every day, wasn't it, Dad?
Actually, no. I actually lived in Montgomery, and my freshman year I stayed at the house. And a couple of our buddies, baseball friends, got an apartment. So I've only eaten in that cafeteria like 4 times.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. What he's saying back then.
Dad went there because it was Morrison's cafeteria.
Yeah, Morrison Cafeteria handled the food at Kentucky. I mean, at Huntington. That they were the food,
Distribute.
Vendor.
Yeah. Distributors.
jobber or whatever, distribution. And it was just like eating at Morrison Cafeteria. And I think I paid $3. Me and John Fairclough, you see, know that
Oh
a
yeah,
lot too.
I know Fairclough.
That's
I remember
right.
Fairclough.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then of course Shartzer and all them, and I became good friends with those guys. And not when they played Troy. Now I'm a huge Troy guy. And Mel Fletcher was over at Alabama Christian,
Yeah.
a good friend of mine, and they had good teams.
Yeah.
And
See, I grew up with his son, and he was
Yeah.
at Jeff Davis with
that's
Bubba
right,
Lewis. Wayne Fletcher.
Yeah, that's right. And of course he coached the national championship team at Central Alabama.
Yes, sir.
So you're from Washington originally, but you're an Alabamian now.
I've been in Alabama most of my life.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And of course, you played on, I'm sure, some of the better Huntington teams out there. And of course, a great respect. And of course, you're playing against QV Lowe.
Yes, sir.
And QV Lowe is going into the Alabama Sports
That's right.
Hall of Fame.
That's right. That's
and
right.
of course, QV had a hard time beating Chase Riddle. But I'm going to ask you, what was your opinion of Coach Riddle? And what a great coach.
Man, he was just awesome.
I
Everything.
mean, you're a guy looking in, and having to play against this guy's teams.
I mean, just awesome looking in and seeing everything he brought to Troy and Troy baseball and
He reminds you of Bear Bryant.
Oh,
didn't
definitely,
he?
definitely. He's
Yeah.
a living. Back then he was a living legend.
Yeah.
And I can remember playing, and getting some at bats, and those guys right behind home plate were.
Oh yeah, that was the mafia.
Yeah, that was the mafia.
And they all had sunglasses on.
They weren't the kindest.
They were.
They weren't the kindest folks at Troy, but it was fun playing.
In fact, when you came up to the on deck circle. They could have reached down there and touched
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And buddy, it was intimidating when you were in that on-deck circle.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Jacksonville State's coach got where he wouldn't even go out to the pitcher's mound. It was so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Rudy Abbott.
Oh, Rudy Abbott? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Rudy Abbott's helping out at Pike Road.
Is he really?
He is.
Rudy Abbott?
I think Rudy Abbott.
Of course, he won over 1,000 games at Jacksonville State.
It might not be Rudy Abbott. It's another coach from Jacksonville State, though.
Yeah, and of course Rudy was a great coach, and he's still out and about. And of course, he was also the SID at Jacksonville State, and he was a baseball coach. And can you believe he did both of those? He wrote about his own team. But of course, Coach Riddle would play Huntington, and of course, we were winning national championships and all that. But what y'all did when y'all played them, they came in there with curveball pitchers.
Yeah.
They didn't bring the guys that threw it 85, 90 miles an hour. They brought these guys that threw the breaking pitch.
That's right.
And it just wore Troy out. Troy was trying to hit that curveball.
That's right. It's hard. The hardest thing to do.
If you throw it 90 miles an hour, they're going to tear you up.
You can catch up to it. Yes.
But I reckon the best pitch in baseball now is the changeup.
Changeup, no doubt.
You had guys that could throw curveballs and changeups.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's what I tell my pitchers, look, throw one pitch 75, throw another one 60, throw one 55. We're just keeping them off timing.
Okay, you were an outstanding player at Huntington, and then where did you go?
I wouldn't go that far. I played at Huntington.
Then where'd you go?
Just bounced around with the cable leagues, played some fast pitch softball, then right back into work.
The cable league, did you play with them very long?
I played with Lou Thornton's team.
Yeah, I remember him, the former Yankee. Was Lou Thornton one?
Lou Thornton, he played for Bubba Lewis,
yeah.
And he had a scholarship to go to Alabama, and he got drafted by the Mets.
Yeah. Of course, several of those guys. My nephew, Chris Amos, used to play in the cable league.
Derek Gaylord and Wes Gaylord played.
Derek and Wes Gaylord, that was a good program, no question about it. And then, of course, what was your first job?
First job was at Vaughn Road Elementary School. That's where I met my wife back then. That was in 1996. And so, elementary PE.
Okay, and then where'd you go?
Then
for your first coaching job.
First coaching job was actually assistant with Tommy Goodson.
Yeah, Tommy. I remember
at Jeff
Tommy,
Davis High School.
Former Jeff Davis guy, and
And
Huntington
guy, yeah. I'm gonna tell you a funny story about Tommy. Back then when Coach Archer, and you were talking about Archer being a hard-nosed coach.
Yeah.
I wasn't on this team. Tommy was a lot older than me, but they obviously they were going to Lewiston, Idaho. They had a fly to Spokane, Washington, and Coach Archer said, "Hey guys, what you want to dress? Casual or suits?" And Tommy said, "Hey, let's just go casual."
Yeah.
And Coach Archer said, "Okay, we'll go casual." Well, all the guys dressed up in suits, and Sharcher didn't know it. And so when they landed in Spokane, they ran. And they ran some more. And then they ran some more. So it made him kind of look bad, but I get a kick out of that.
Yeah. All right. Of course, you got into coaching, and tell us a little bit about that.
Got into coaching. Coach Lowndes.
Goodson, I knew Goodson's dad real well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I coached at Lowndes Academy. I live in Lounsboro.
Oh, do you?
I coach at Lowndes Academy. Never worked there. I've always been in the public school system.
Yeah.
I have a daughter that goes there.
The headmaster there and I are dear friends, and he's both his brothers went to school here.
Okay.
Is he still there?
The headmaster.
At Lowndes.
Was he the head
football coach too?
No. The headmaster there is Mohan.
Yeah.
He was the basketball coach at Shelton State.
Yeah, but now this guy, been around a long time before then. Not MAC champion, but after MAC champion.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
But of course, you were in the private schools and
just coaching at Lowndes. My daughter had two daughters graduated there. I still have one there that's a sophomore. Coached at Lowndes. We were fortunate enough to have really good players. It's easy to coach when you have good players. And
what year was that?
2005, 6, and 7.
And of course, very competitive. The Alabama Independent School, a lot of good teams.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Especially
right
back then.
Yeah.
I mean, there's.
Well, right now, Pike Liberal has
Yes,
won
sir.
2 straight.
Yes,
Probably
sir.
going to win 2. They got 2 left-handed pitchers.
Yeah.
And that might be enough to win 3 straight.
That's
you know?
right. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But of course, this is a different league you play in, and a very tough league, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch you. All right, tell us where you went after.
After Lowndes, I went to Brew Tech.
That's the you had
That's
a bunch
magnet
of
school and
smart kids. Didn't
smart. Oh, I had a bunch of smart kids. Baseball is for smart kids.
Yeah.
You know, you got to think about the games between the games and
I
things
think
like that.
exactly, no question about it. And of course, I remember seeing y'all play a lot against Charles Henderson.
Yeah, we played Charles Henderson a lot. Back then, we were 4A. When I was there, I coached there 3 years. When I got there, they never won an area game.
Yeah.
Well, we ended up winning the area tournament, tournament, and so we got to host Jackson High School the year after Jackson High School, or the year they were previous 4A state champions. Took them to 3 games. So.
Jackson's always played good baseball.
Yeah. Jackson has some good baseball down there, and then after that, I went to Montgomery Academy. Spent a couple years there, 2 years there.
Montgomery Academy. Rice knows a little bit about that.
Okay.
And of course, a bunch of rich kids.
Oh, yeah. You said that.
Well,
I had some good kids there, though.
I
had some
exactly,
a lot of smart kids too. I had a lot of smart. I had a kid that's went to Princeton there.
Yeah, Johnny Tatum was a good friend of mine.
Yeah,
Will Davis.
Is that who you're talking about?
Yes.
Will Davis.
His grandparents are from Troy.
Okay. Went to Princeton. Played first base for me.
Yeah, he was a great player. I remember.
Left-handed hitter.
Well, he'll be a good supporter of you.
Y'all had some great teams.
Oh yeah. We were pretty.
And he used to talk about going to Princeton to watch him play, And of course he's a good student. He's now a doctor or a lawyer. A doctor, I think.
Okay.
I think he's a doctor.
He could have been whatever he wanted to be. He was smart. Great kid.
Now,
Great
did
kid.
you win championships at Montgomery Academy?
No. So we made the playoffs 2 years in a row.
Yeah, sure.
And after that,
I'll tell you a story about MA if I can interject. This might have been after you or before you. I don't know. It might have been before you. MA made the finals of the state tournament, and they ran out of pitching, as it happens sometimes in these 3-game tournaments. And they had to bring in a pitcher, and they brought in 8th grade Will Davis in the finals, the best of 3 championship game. He did pretty good for a couple innings.
Of course, his dad's a lawyer there in Montgomery, and of course, grew up right here.
His dad played baseball at Charles Henderson.
Yeah, exactly. And was a good football quarterback, too, also. No question about it.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, what I'm saying, you're part of this, too. I reckon we get crossed over quite a bit. But, everybody's got a question to ask you. And of course, we're excited
I like the
about you
pedigree.
being here.
Brew Tech to
MA.
Yeah.
Then to
Where'd you go?
Sweetwater.
All right, then tell me how do you get from Montgomery Academy to Sweetwater?
that would have been a culture shock.
The good Lord.
It's a great place. Isn't it?
I never knew where it was. Heard about it. Heard them win the football state championships, and woke up one day and I was working at Sweetwater.
Yeah.
And
And Coffeyville had already closed up.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
right?
Yes,
Yeah, Coffeyville used to be pretty good too.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And of course, Sweetwater has won over the years several state championships.
Yes, sir.
Did you coach on any of those?
I coached 2 on. I got there in 2016, and very fortunate. I didn't. The 2015 team didn't have any seniors on it, so I got everybody back.
Yeah.
Had it. We took Mobile Christian to 3 games at our place.
Yeah.
And then 2017 we won it. 2018 we won it. So
Won it all, folks.
won it all, and just great kids, small community. Obviously, Troy's a lot bigger community than Sweetwater is, but I have the same vibe here.
Yeah.
Everybody comes out to support football games. Everybody came out to support baseball
There's
games.
a name, Nolan Atkins.
Nolan Atkins, yes, sir.
His daughter is the assistant athletic director here at Troy.
Okay, yeah, he lived right around the corner from our baseball field because we didn't have one on campus.
What I'm saying, that he was winning championships way back.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that might have been his brother.
Yeah, maybe so.
And yeah, there's Nolan Atkins. Our field is named after him in Sweetwater. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I always talk about Sweetwater, because they're such dominant in all sports, and of course, we got Long High School of Skipperville sitting over here has won more state championships than anybody, and then of course Sweetwater. All those traditions, those Michigan helmets.
Oh yes, sir.
Did you have to coach football at all?
I had to help coach football. I was kind of like the
coach there, though, was a legend, isn't he?
No, that's Luker. Luker, Luker left. He won several blue maps.
Yeah.
And he's at Clark County High School right now.
Did
Coach Thompson's the head coach there?
Okay, and of course you came in. Was Luker there when you came?
No, sir.
He had already gone.
I came in the year he left. He went to Mississippi for a year. Then he came back, coached at Mopolis for 2 years. Then he's at Clark County.
Now, I want to ask you a personal question. You had to have a good left-handed pitcher, didn't you? Nobody wins the state championship unless you got a good left-handed pitcher, didn't you?
No, I didn't. We call them slow lefties now. If I had one at 295 and once I'm not recruiting or anything like that. If I had a 95 left-handed pitcher, we'd be very good.
Well, tell us about that team that won, those two teams that won state championship.
I had some great
class 1A or 2A.
1A. We just
you had to play Brantley.
Had to play Brantley in the third round. It's probably the coldest day in April there ever was, and it was freezing. We beat them 2-1 first game, beat them 3-2 in 13 innings the second game.
Oh man, that was
at Brantley. And so
we call Brantley Title Town, and they're pretty good.
Oh yeah, they are. They were very good. They were very good. Fortunately, this past year, Sweetwater, I follow up on Sweetwater, keep in touch with those guys, and they put Brantley out in the fourth round or third round football.
What makes that tradition? That it's a little bitty town, and what makes the tradition so strong?
I think it's they're tied. Everybody knows everybody in the community. There's really nothing to do but come to the sporting events.
Oh yeah,
and they take pride. They really just like Troy does.
Yeah, I've never thought that they were any good in basketball. You never hear about Sweetwater basketball, but when it comes to football and baseball, you look out.
Yeah, I don't want to offend anybody back in Sweetwater, but it's last night, the 10th of December. That was their opening basketball game.
Yeah, okay.
Because they played so far in football.
So late. That's right.
They
messed their basketball up, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The basketball doesn't match up to the football, but they still love it.
So you really took advantage of a great program, and now this job comes up.
Yes,
sir. Did you know much about Charles Henderson coming in?
Always followed Charles Henderson. When I was at Brentech,
that makes me feel real good because of the tradition that Charles Henderson has developed statewide. It's very respected.
Yes, sir, definitely. Got to play against Derek, picked his brain a lot of times and things like that. Obviously, he'd have us over here and we'd play at the university and things like that. Made it real nice. And even when I was at Sweetwater, we played Derek when he was at Oak Mountain, and
and he's done well at Oak Mountain.
Oh yeah, we took a whooping, but we learned from it.
You know what? He's more. He was a great coach, but you know what? He was more than anything a great Christian.
Yes,
he did so much for the college Christian ministry at the First Baptist Church.
Sir.
I mean, it was hard for him to leave Troy because so many people wanted him to stay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he is a great Christian young man. Great coach and a great person and a dear friend.
Well, tell us about your philosophy on baseball.
Yeah, that was going to be my question.
Yeah. Philosophy on baseball, it's changed a couple times. Coach Shoup at UAB kind of...
He's a good coach.
Yeah.
And he's on Troy. He beat Troy more than any coach I know around.
He's a great Christian young man. A great Christian coach, too.
I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah, he is. He very is. I try to model after Coach Shoup, too, other than, Jesus Christ. But... I thought you always had to out-hit folks, and if you could hit, I'm going to put you out there.
Yeah.
If you can hit, I'm going to put you out there in the field. Somehow the ball always found that person.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you better hit him more than you let in. And when I got to talking to Shoup and everything, it led to, he said, you got to play catch at a high level. If you can play catch at a high level, you can be successful. And, I'm kind of right there in between the two. So I haven't had my hands on my guys at Charles Henderson enough yet. We're doing hitting groups. We're doing some conditioning and finger.
So what you're saying is you got to be able to hit and you got to be able to field.
That's right. That's the game of baseball.
And and hit the ball hard somewhere.
That's right. That's right.
I don't even know if even Pete Rose knew exactly where the ball was going when he hit it, but he hit it hard somewhere.
That's right.
And another thing that's very, very true: the ball does not have eyes on it.
That's right.
So you can hit it hard all day as long as it goes right to somebody. You haven't done anything.
Hey, I'll just take putting it into play on the ground.
Yeah.
Don't help the other team.
That's right.
Yeah, and give your team a chance to win. Of course, right
what
now.
about Charles Henderson's facilities compared to other schools you've been at? I mean, Charles Henderson has the most unique bleachers I've ever seen in my life at a baseball stadium.
Oh, no doubt. Coming here, I dreaded that because we always had to walk up and down those stairs.
That's right.
Right now, it's kind of helping me get in shape, and so. But yeah, the facilities are top notch, bar none.
And those stands, you're right, Mike. They look a little different, but if you're a parent of somebody, you can put your lawn chair right there. Got enough width that you can just straight.
That's right.
Just a wonderful place to do.
That's right.
Also, they got a great hamburger. Oh boy. One of the best hamburgers. I used to go there to eat supper. I'd tell my wife, I said, hey, I'm going to the game. I want to eat supper over there.
We always used to open up on President's Day in February. Well, now we open up on that Thursday. Well, that Saturday, we play GW Long at 12 o'clock. Well, we're going to be playing there. I was going to say. Our first homestand will be on the 17th. Will you come? I'll make sure you. I'm gonna buy you 2 hamburgers.
Well, I'll probably be doing the play-by-play.
Okay.
When is your first practice?
Our first practice, I can work with them 5-on-1s, and we're talking about hitting groups right now, and so got to see a lot of them hit. And first practice actually won't be till like that.
February?
January. That last Monday in January.
Yeah, the cold.
Of course. So do you like the facilities? And,
love them.
Love them. It is a beautiful field, isn't it?
It is a beautiful field.
A lot of people that don't go to the games don't see it. They just ride by there, and it's a big ballpark, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big ballpark. It's unique. It's not as big as Sweetwater.
Well, what I'm saying, that left field wall.
That left field wall is nice. Yes.
And of course, your left fielders get where they understand how to play it.
That's right. That's right.
It's an advantage, isn't it?
Big advantage. Big advantage. And
well,
so
I tell you what, we're looking forward to it. Now, of course, every year, you don't really do a lot of recruiting at this level. But what I'm saying, there's a lot of players in the program. Where do you actually start being involved with a Charles Henderson player? The 7th, 8th grade, or?
I want to get involved at the rec league.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's where I want to do. We're going to put on some camps at the rec league and teach these kids kind of the way that we're teaching them at Charles Henderson, and the coaches can learn too as well. You're never too old to learn about the game of baseball, and we want to teach them the right way. And so if they choose to come to Charles Henderson, we won't have to regress. We can pick up and keep going.
Have you got a fairly good team coming in?
I do.
Pretty experienced team?
I do. I have 3 seniors, and I got about 10 juniors.
Well, that's good.
So that is really good.
I mean, Charles Henderson won 27 games last year. I mean, they had a really good year last year. I mean, the problem you're dealing with in Troy, though, is you got a private school that's won 2 straight state championships. So you got kids that want to go play out there as well. You got to be able to keep some of those kids, to play at Charles Henderson as well. It's crazy how competitive baseball is in Troy, Alabama right now.
Definitely. And that, following Charles Henderson baseball, following Troy baseball, I knew some kids that played at Charles Henderson, and I knew some kids that played at Pike. And if they ever could, come together as one, they're going to be dominant.
Yeah.
But
you're looking at it. I don't know if you could to do this, but you talk about a fundraiser. How about a baseball game between Pike Liberal Arts and Charles Citizen?
That would,
hey,
yeah.
you could sell them with $100 tickets.
Yeah, that would be nice. I don't think
I don't know.
Mr. Savarese would agree with that though, but, but that would be great.
I'm being facetious,
Yeah.
but at the same
So
time,
do you only just have to coach baseball, or do you got to coach football as well?
I'll do whatever they want me to do. They hadn't asked me to do football, but I'll help them to do whatever they need me to do. Baseball is my gig right now, though.
no question. Tell us a little bit about your schedule. How many are you gonna play?
We got all our scheduled dates filled. We can play 28 games. We got 3 games over spring break, going down to Pensacola.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Picked up GW Long, picked up Arrington, picked up Spanish Fort, picked up Hueytown. So
Hueytown's always good.
always good. So they're going to come down here, and so we're playing these good teams so we can get better.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And
So actually, you've got 27 scheduled, but that doesn't include tournaments. So you're liable to play a lot more.
we're allowed to play 28 games, and so I got all those 28 filled, and then you can play as many as you want over spring break. So I got 3 there. So we got 32 games.
And that's where you do it. And
That's right.
And of course, we're excited about you being here. And now you're married and have the children.
Yeah, I'm married. Like I said, we live in Lounsboro. My wife's parents live right across the pond from us in Lounsboro, so I can't ask her to move.
I can show you some pretty good shortcuts through right by old South Montgomery Academy.
I need it, yeah. I need those shortcuts. But
there's some real good shortcuts through there, though.
you might need to write them down and text them to me. But yeah, it's about a 50-minute ride.
I've got to throw this name out, Mac Champion.
Mac Champion.
Boy, was he a winner or not?
He was. He definitely.
Lowndes Academy.
Football field is named after him now.
Oh yeah, and but a long-time coach though, and the headmaster over there is a good friend of mine, and my mind's.
I think that's where Preston Gothard played.
Mike, you work with his in the sporting goods business. He used to be a manager of Troy University's basketball team. Hello, Mike.
I can't remember him.
He came to work with y'all later on, and I don't know if he's still with them or not, but he was the brother of this guy. I'm trying to think.
Is he talking about Andy Sullivan?
Yeah, Sullivan. You know Art Sullivan.
Art Sullivan. Yeah, Art Sullivan.
He was a long time guy. Great guy.
He teaches the hardest chemistry and biology classes there.
Yeah, I used to officiate basketball over there all the time.
Art Sullivan's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, we're excited, and
I work with a guy named Todd Donaldson that knows you real well.
Nah, he knows me real well, but I don't know how well he likes me now.
Why is that?
No, he said good things about you.
Okay, he's good. We played a lot of softball, fast pitch softball against each other and things like that. So he's a really good guy. You work with him?
I used to work with him. He works for BSN now.
Okay, yeah. So you're still with.
No, I'm not with them anymore. I live at the beach, actually.
Oh man, you got it made then.
That's Mike's son.
Yeah, I live in Grayton. I'm a wine rep down here. Actually.
Okay, there you go.
And of course, evidently, this guy was a friend of yours or a competitor.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you who is probably watching is one of your predecessors at Charles Henderson, Mike Cogan.
Yeah.
He watches the show a lot.
He sure does.
And when I was in high school, he was the head coach. This was in the 80s.
And another guy named Butch Austin. You've heard that name.
He helped develop the program at Pike Liberal Arts. And
we played them when he was there.
You know, when I was in high school, I was the scorekeeper of those teams for 4 years.
Yeah.
I couldn't hit a curveball, so I couldn't play.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I would say from Mark Davis's era, 78, through Sam Drake and Rod McWhorter and all those guys, Charles Simpson never won the state championship, but they finished second 3 times.
Yeah.
But those teams were always
with great pitching and all
good.
that. Yeah.
And then the tradition was really built right there.
Yeah. So, in fact, you played against Butch Austin's teams when you were at Lowndes against Pike.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
right?
Yes, sir. Yes. Didn't fare too well, but we played against him, and we learned.
Well, you were 2A instead of 3A, weren't you?
Yeah, we were 1A.
1A. Well, you're 1A.
1A.
Okay, I got you.
That's one thing. If Coach Hogan's watching, there's nothing up there right now that says Hogan's Hill. And so we're gonna put a brag
Oh,
board
it's
up there.
yeah.
We're gonna do it upright. So
Well, that's great. Well, he
Yeah.
was a great
He
coach.
talk about pride. He took a lot of pride in that program. You know what I remember about those teams, Mike? They would come out and do infield, and that infield was so impressive. They never missed a ball. They fired that ball all
Yeah.
around the
I like to watch
even
it,
after
too.
they threw it home, they'd throw it back around the infield. And they were so intense in that. I think it intimidated teams
Yeah.
watching Charles Henderson take pregame infield.
Well, another thing you talk about the ballpark, it's hard to judge how hard the balls hit sometimes, you know, being sitting back where you are, you know, and everything. But it is a great facility, and we wish you the best of luck. I know we hammered you with different
Oh, you're
questions.
good, you're
You
good,
have
you're good.
won the award.
hey, I do want to mention.
Yeah, tell me about it.
One of our fundraisers going on right now. We're selling tickets, and you can win a gift certificate to the Troy Sportsman's Club or Sports Shop. And
Okay, I know where that is. Yeah.
$2,000 gift certificate, or you can opt out and get the prepaid Visa card for $2,000. We're going to draw 7 of them. It's $100 a ticket.
Yeah.
If you can just push this on your show, and hopefully people can see these.
Well, tell us where they can get a ticket.
You can get a ticket from any Charles Henderson baseball player. You can call me. I can give my number. My number is 334-398-0269. Or you can see Mr. Billy Jeffcoat, 334-482-2374. And we'll drive over, or one of my players will drive over and put it right in your hand.
Probably call the high school too,
You can call the high school as well.
Have you had time to put together a staff?
I hadn't had a chance to bring my staff down. Still looking at that and what job availabilities that might come open at the high school. But I have a good staff right now.
You do. I know you do.
I have a good staff right
And,
now.
How much of a staff do you need as a high school baseball coach? Usually you just have one assistant, don't you?
You know, you do, but more the better. The more the better.
right.
If I got a Coach Polk, I got Coach Martin, Coach C, Coach McKinnon. Am I missing anybody?
Yeah.
That's it.
But I tell you what, we're
Tell us about the
looking
player you brought with us today.
Oh man, this guy, Bailey Sparrow. He can do it. He's second baseman.
I remember when he was a little boy, you know, coming up through the ranks.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
He'll probably be our starting catcher, backup. He'll probably be our starting second baseman, backup catcher. Probably the valedictorian of the school.
yeah.
Just a great kid. Great
Well,
kid.
we wish you best luck, and of course we'll try to push these
Yeah,
tickets.
push
down.
these tickets.
This is for the Blue Monster Club. Is that right?
That's our booster club. Blue Monster Club is our booster club. So if our players ever need anything, you know, they can get their hands on it. And
okay.
things like
And if
that.
we can do anything to help you on this show here, we can put together, you know, some.
And you'll probably, Troy Cable will be doing several baseball games, I'm sure.
Oh,
right?
yeah, we will. We'll be doing several of them, and you know, we're big. This cable here really supports athletics.
Awesome.
And high school and college, but more or less high school.
They run games taped, and they sometimes run them live.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
right.
believe
We had a
that.
big basketball game last night, and of course we'll be doing a lot of those too.
Okay,
so
that's great.
it'll be a
So
lot of
again,
fun.
yeah, these tickets are $100. Blue Monster Club. See one of Charles Henderson's players. See one of our coaches. Give me a call at 334-398-0269.
Win $2,000.
Win $2,000. You don't have to spend it at the sports shop. You can opt out and get a $2,000 prepaid Visa. We're going to draw 7 times.
That's pretty nice, isn't
Yes,
it?
sir.
Wish you a lot of
All
luck.
right, thank you.
And of course, hope you'll come back on
Hey, thank you.
during baseball season for sort of fill us in.
Yes, sir.
You know, maybe like Monday quarterback club or
Anytime.
Monday baseball club. And,
Anytime.
We'd love to
Anytime.
have you. Hope you've enjoyed today's show. Brought to you by
Well, we
some
said we
great
still got 8
sponsors.
minutes left, they said.
And we got 8 minutes left. That's good. Coach, again, something we didn't talk about was scheduling some of the teams. You know, you say you're gonna bring Hueytown in here. Will you play them at Troy Stadium ballpark or your ballpark?
If we can work it out where they're off, we're going to play them over
Yeah.
there. But right now, it's scheduled for our place. And
What
so-
do you think about Troy's facility?
Awesome.
You know, you like that
yeah.
that surface and all that?
Yes. When I played, you know, it wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so I specific, you know, I remember booting the ball there because
Yeah.
the grass was dewy at night, and
Yeah.
so.
Do you go back with Mark Smart very far? Or do
I
you
don't.
go-
I got to coach his son in the Alabama all sports week.
Yeah.
1 year, and great kid. And
Well,
things
one
like
of the best
that.
high school players I've ever
man.
seen. He was a
Yes.
great player.
Very, very talented. Very
No
talented.
question.
And so, but yeah, like I said, Troy baseball goes back.
Of course, your region is strong. I know there's several teams that are going to be tough. Ozark's getting better. And,
Ozark's getting better. Got a guy on my former staff at Brewtech. He's the pitching coach there. Rehoboth is always
yeah,
pretty
they're
good.
getting better. Yeah, they're getting a lot better.
They're always pretty good, and Greenville is in there as well. And we match up this year against the St. Paul Faith region.
Okay,
first
yeah.
round.
Oh
So
man, that is tough.
yeah, if you're gonna beat them, you gotta beat the best. Sometime.
That's right. And
So,
that is a tough region.
that's right. So
And but hey, we are Troy.
that's right. That's right.
We are Charles Center. We got tradition
That's
too.
right.
Back when I was growing up, we'd be playing these big schools, Montgomery and Mobile and Dothan and Babe Ruth and different things, and we just shuddered because they were a big town. But now when they see that orange and blue, or they see the red and black of the rec teams, hey, they do the shit. Hey, there's Troy.
That's right.
They shudder when they see us.
That's right.
It's all about tradition.
It is huge time, big time tradition.
Yeah, and of course, and when a kid plays for you, they can take a lot of pride in being the very best they can be.
That's right. I'm trying to teach them the game of baseball, but my end goal is to develop great Christian men, great Christian husbands, and great Christian fathers.
Have you developed any hats, or are you going to stay with the same hat pretty much?
We're going. Yeah, our logo's traditional, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to touch
So
that.
it looks pretty good.
It
doesn't
looks very good. I actually have one in my car.
Yeah.
I was going to bring to you. Bailey forgot to
Oh,
remind me.
let me tell you something. Now go get it, Bailey. I'd love to show that hat. If it's unlocked, is it unlocked?
Yeah, it's unlocked. There's one. Come here, Bailey.
Hey, if you gonna give me a hat, I
Yeah.
sure want to be
yeah.
involved in it.
It's in the back seats. One of the brand new
All
ones.
right. Hey, and of course, will you be playing Enterprise?
We won't be playing Enterprise. That's one thing with Coach
Were
Whitten.
you and the old coach pretty friends?
We knew each other. He was a Huntington alum.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But he didn't play for Charter though.
Yeah.
But he went back home to Enterprise, and he had a schedule, but then he blotted them out, and I guess that's
Yeah.
You can play them in the future.
Oh yeah, we are. We're going to
Oh,
play
yeah.
them in the future,
Oh, yeah.
definitely
No
for
question.
sure, because
no question about it. But how about Andalusia? Will you be playing them?
we got Andalusia.
Yeah,
We got
that's good.
Andalusia up here we play Andalusia, I think, in the Sykes tournament. with us up here.
How about the Dothan teams? Do you play
We go down there and play a three-way at Dothan.
That's
so.
going to be fun.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
it's going to be an outstanding baseball. And here it comes right here. Man, I love that
There you
hat
go.
right there now.
All right.
That is a good-looking baseball
Yeah,
hat. Now, hey.
It might not fit you because I know you got a lot of knowledge.
Well, I got a lot of hair. Oh, this one is a little bit small.
Hey, I got another
but
one.
let me tell you one thing. This will be bent. Now, you're a straight
yes, sir.
guy or you're a bent guy?
I bend it a little bit.
I am too. Thank goodness.
Yes, I bend it. I don't put a fishing hook on it though, or
But
nothing like
it
that.
is a good-looking hat, and it's a little bit small, but that's a good-looking hat.
Yes,
and I'll
sir.
take pride in wearing that hat.
Yes, sir. I'll get you. Come to our first game, and I'll run one up there. I don't care if it's the first
Good.
inning, second inning, or third
Now,
inning.
how long you gonna sell these?
These
chances?
tickets will be going on the rest of this week. We'll draw Friday.
Okay.
So we got-
On the ticket, it says the drawing was December 6th, but with the coaching change and everything,
Yeah.
we extended another
Yeah,
week.
Exactly.
So.
Well, that's good. That's great. And I'll buy one of those from you
Yeah.
too.
Again, everything goes to our kids to make sure our kids can have all the proper equipment and so they can be the most successful
Yeah.
baseball players around.
Exactly right. Well, I'm gonna write you a check for one of those tickets
Okay.
right now if you
Okay.
fill it out for me, or I'll fill it out. And of course, we appreciate all of you being with us today. And it's the time of the season.
We started off talking about greatest football coaches of all time, and then we got to talk baseball for most of the show.
Exactly. And I know you probably hadn't had so many questions that hit you at one time in your life.
I love talking baseball.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I
Yeah,
love talking baseball.
I love Charles Henderson baseball, and I'm a historian like you are, Mike, of sports
Yeah, that's
in
right.
this town. And I would say that the sport that where Charles Henderson has consistently been the most competitive or the best through the years and decades is baseball.
Yeah.
There's been times when we're good in football, times when we've had great basketball teams, but it's almost a given that the baseball programs are going to be good enough to compete for a state championship.
And of course, there's some good 5A programs. St. Paul's one of the first ones. And then a lot of those Mobile schools are very good. But hey, Charles Henderson in 5A baseball ranks up there with all of them.
Oh yes, sir. No doubt.
There's a lot of them. Bibb County's got a good program. You got teams up there in the northern part of the state. Russellville's always good.
Yes, sir.
Coleman is not in our league anymore, but
they're 6A. They're good.
But they're really good.
But that's what I do.
Well, we beat them for a state championship one time
that's
too.
Right. That's right.
I remember that.
I try to pick out the best teams. Hopefully go.
Yeah.
I look at even when I was at Sweetwater, pick out the best teams. I knew I had to beat Thomasville. I knew I had to beat Demopolis.
Thomasville, very good.
Yeah, I knew
Demopolis, very good.
I beat Thomasville every time we played them.
Yeah.
And then Coach Moody, I don't know if you know
Coach
Moody.
Great relief pitcher, one of the best of all time at Huntington.
Yes.
When he was a relief pitcher at Huntington, I saw him come in and beat Troy in the latter innings. I mean, he later signed with the Yankees.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
He was a great player.
Coach
Is he where he's coaching?
He's still coaching at Demopolis, and it's great. I always enjoy playing against him, and he'll probably be coming here too now.
Where's that big slugger, Kaluski? You remember what I'm talking about?
He came from here.
He transferred from Troy, Kaluski or something.
I don't know where he is. I haven't kept in touch with him. But he'd always argue with Coach Sharch about pulling a slider.
Well, that right field fence, he hit a lot of them over there. He hit some on top of that apartment complex.
Yes, sir.
He was a great slugger.
Yes, sir.
But the great one was had the fastest bat I think I've ever seen, and I can't remember his name right now, but he was a great player.
Was it Lance Lee?
No, not Lance Lee. But this guy was a big, bulky guy and played first base, I want to say. And he was really good. I can't remember it right now, but he had a quick bat, a real quick bat,
I used to live in those apartments on down the road from the Huntington baseball field. And then I played a lot of golf at Montgomery Country Club, and I've sliced a lot of drives over there into the baseball field.
And they telling who he knows now playing at Montgomery Country Club, isn't he? Hey, let me ask you a personal question.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever eaten at Martin's restaurant?
I have.
Have you ever eaten that coconut pie?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, I might drive up there today and get one.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's always crowds. You better get there early.
The best cornbread you'll ever eat.
Yes, sir.
And,
very good.
So me and you got a lot in common. Troy's got some great places to eat. Sister's Restaurant is one of the best places to eat you'll find anywhere.
Okay.
And, of course, we'll have to run you out there and let you take advantage of some wonderful food.
Definitely.
And, of course...
do they let y'all out of school to go eat somewhere?
No.
Right now, you're not teaching, are you?
Yeah, I am teaching, but I have a planning block right now.
Okay,
and
good.
So,
what are you teaching?
I'm teaching physical education this semester, then I'll be in the health classroom.
What is your feeling about weights, baseball players working out with weights?
I think it's great. I mean, we have a strength and conditioning coach, Coach Garner. He's awesome. And all the athletes at Charles Henderson are required to take that class. And so, obviously it's different if you're a football player and a baseball player, what muscles you need to work and things like that. But,
bat speed, back when you played at Huntington, you never heard the word bat speed that much.
You heard bat speed, but you didn't hear launch angle.
That's right.
Oh,
and then, of course, the great pitcher now, it's not just your slider or your curveball, but it's your changeup.
That's right.
If you got a good fastball and changeup, if you got that, you got it whipped, don't you?
You got it made. And like I told my guys, in high school sports, if you can pitch backwards and a 2-0 count, if you can throw a curveball, and a 3-1 count, if you can throw a curveball or some off speed, you're going to be very good.
Do you go by the Charlie Lau theory, getting the weight on the back foot, or how do you?
I was a front foot hitter,
but that's what Coach Riddle taught.
Yeah, I was a front foot hitter,
you understand where I'm coming from?
Yes, sir.
Don't you?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would try. Yeah.
A lot of people like to get on back there and be still. But now You like to come off the front foot.
Yes, sir. I think your weight's got to transfer
Yeah,
sometime.
exactly.
And I was a small guy. I always played and managed to hit a couple out, but
bat speed is what does it. Everybody
Bat
says,
speed.
how far did that guy hit a golf ball? And it's not because he's big and strong. He moves that club exceptionally fast.
That's right. That's
the way it is in baseball.
That's
isn't it?
right. Right now, when the NFL got over, if it was about how big and strong you were, we'd have all the NFL guys playing baseball.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's all about bat speed, and it's not a game like football where you got to outnumber guys and keep everybody. It's not about height. So just your ordinary. Billy and Joes and Johnnies can play baseball.
Of course,
if they're athletic.
you stole a lot of bases in college. Do you teach base stealing?
Oh
now?
yeah, definitely.
So y'all gonna be stealing a lot of bases?
Well, yes sir. Yes sir. Off the pitcher.
Or advancing that runner?
Oh
is
yeah,
that right?
I play aggressive. I think last year I had probably 19, 20 guys throwing it at home.
Now, where were you last year?
Last year I was at Brookwood High School.
Oh, in Tuscaloosa.
In Tuscaloosa.
That's a big school.
Yes, that was a 6A school.
Know it well. A guy barbecue house there is a Troy
Yes, sir.
graduate.
Yes, sir.
That barbecue.
Yes, sir.
You remember
Yes,
that?
sir.
He's
Yes, sir.
a Troy graduate, but Brookwood is a good program.
Yeah, it's a good program. It's an up and coming program at 6A school. It's in a tough area with Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa,
sure.
Northridge. So, but it's a good school.
And we played those guys a bunch over the years, and Charles Simpson doesn't dodge anybody, do they?
No. We're going after people.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
and
right.
Of course, we're excited. Hope that you've enjoyed today's show. And Coach, we're going to run this tape and have you on numerous times before Christmas. And during as we prepare for baseball season in January, February, we'll run this show sometime.
Okay.
But we'd love to have your commitment to come in here and be with us some during baseball season.
You just let me know when I'm here.
Good luck to
All
you.
right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Coach John Glushik. Ladies and gentlemen, the new baseball coach at Charles Simpson High School. And Coach, hope you win 5 state championships.
That's right.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
We are Charles Henderson High School baseball.
That's right.
We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early for Bill Jackson Chevrolet's picks of the week. We're going to pick the bowl games tomorrow right here on this show. Hope you have a great day.